Good day to you. Now, I got asked this question by a customer who came in yesterday who has been with me all along, before, during, after the amputation, and all of that sort of thing. And it really was just something that she was curious about. She knows that I go to Dunedin an awful lot because people struggle to get appointments with me with the amount of time I have to off to drag them down to leg appointments. And she asked me, did it hurt to wear a prosthetic? So I thought I would cover that off in a separate video. Now, as you know at the moment, just a minute, my prosthetic leg at the moment looks like this. It has been temporarily adjusted so that I can keep on wearing it, but even so, it causes me too much pain, so I need this. And I also need all of these. Now, why is it causing me pain? Sorry, the crutch is about to fall over. Now, what is supposed to happen with it? Because it's rigid, it doesn't move like a pair of shoes. So when you get a brand new pair of shoes, they hurt for a bit and then they sort of mold to your feet and then they don't hurt anymore. This is how we wear in a pair of shoes. But with a leg, it doesn't bend. It's solid, and it needs to be solid so that it will support your weight when you put the weight through it. Now, there's an awful lot of force put through it, and an awful lot of compression goes in when you put your leg into the socket and stand up. So it needs to be a tight fit. Now, every socket is made to measure you. So this one has got lumps and bumps and things like that in it that fit my leg, and it would not fit anyone else. And it only fits my leg for a short time, as you know, and then it becomes too big, and then we resize and go again. Now, why does it become too big? Well, it's not that the socket changes size, because obviously it doesn't. It's because your leg changes size. Now, if you look at the end of an amputated leg, there is the end of my tibia. The tibia is there, and it's quite prominent on the front of my leg. If you can, there's the end of the bone, and it's quite obvious on the front here. There. And then on the side, we have the fibula. That's the top of the fibula, and the fibula head is there, and it's becoming a bit more prominent too. Now, why is that? The reason is because the muscles that are, sorry, my leg just fell over. The muscles that are used to wrap around the end of those bones, the calf muscle, like I said to you before, the calf muscle comes round and under, so the front of my leg still feels like the back of my leg. Now, the reason that the bones become more prominent is because the muscle shrinks away because it's not being used like it used to be used. So it atrophies and then your muscles shrink. That's what happens if somebody has a spinal cord injury. You don't use your muscles anymore, your muscles will shrink. So that means that the bones become more obvious because there's less muscle surrounding them. And what that means is that everything rubs just a little bit more. Now, how do you get something to stop rubbing? Make it tight. So when I put the liner on, if the leg is loose, we start putting extra socks on. The reason for that is because, we are hoping to make the leg tight and not move around. So if it's moving around inside the socket, you're going to get some friction and rubbing and pain and things like that. And if it's not moving around, it's a nice, secure, tight fit, then it shouldn't, if the cast has been done right. So back to the question, does it hurt to walk on a prosthetic? Well, in theory, it shouldn't, but frequently it does, because the cast is only good for the time that it's cast. Then the leg starts to change shape. So this leg is only 2 weeks old and I'm already on 3 extra socks. And that means that, yes, this one does start to hurt as the day goes on because it rubs on the bones that are more prominent, because it's not a tight fit and the leg is moving inside the socket. Equally, because everything moves very slightly and because it's not actually my leg, I can sit down because it hurts a lot, stand up, and have no delay in between, and it doesn't hurt anymore. Just that titchy tiny little change. Equally, the same thing can happen the other way around. You can be walking around, sit down, fine, stand up, ow, because something is moved just very fractionally. So does it hurt to walk on a prosthetic? Yes and no. It doesn't if the leg fits well, if you've got a good leg, but that's not always the case. My first leg, not too bad. My second leg, this one, rubbish. My third leg, different type of system, suction socket. It'd be interesting to see if that makes it better, because the suction system should remove the friction and the movement inside the socket. So in theory, it should be more comfortable, but we will see. So thank you to that customer for that excellent question. And if you've got any others for me, please do ask. I love to answer questions, and I don't necessarily have to mention your name if you don't want me to. Have a lovely afternoon.